In life, there comes a fire. Most see ashes and believe the story is over. Ashes are not the end. They are the birthplace of transformation. The phoenix does not ask permission to rise. It rebuilds itself through pain, through discipline, through purpose. And perhaps the greatest tragedy in life is not falling. It is remaining in the ashes when you still possess the power to rise. This season is for the tested, for the wounded, for those who refused to surrender their soul. Listen carefully. Your fire was not sent to destroy you. It was sent to remake you. Welcome to Season 3 of Your Moment Starts Now. The Phoenix Mindset with Tony Zotti.
Presence is often more powerful than words. We don't help hurting people by trying to escape their pain. We help them by entering it with them. Welcome to Your Moment Starts Now. I'm glad we could spend a few moments together. I would encourage you for these next few moments, if possible, listen without distractions. Here's why I'm saying this. Sometimes one single thought can begin changing the direction of our lives. This change may awaken the person you really are inside and set the course for a better and more satisfying life. Today, I want to talk with you about something every one of us will experience, the pain of loss. My prayer is that this message will bring peace that passes all understanding, will give us a restored understanding of what exactly is loss, will give us hope to move forward even when loss has left a deep pain in our hearts, minds, and spirit. When I speak about the pain of loss, it covers many areas. The loss of a dream, the loss of a great opportunity, the loss of a broken relationship, the loss of our health, the loss of versions of ourselves, the loss of chapters in our lives that have ended. The last loss is the one we want to pay attention to right now. I believe in my heart the most tragic loss in our lives is the loss of a loved one. Take a moment and reflect on this truth. I want to remind you this is not a motivational speech. It is the reality of life. We must not hide, but face it. Many people fear mourning because they think if they open the door to their pain, they'll never recover. Yet, the opposite is often true. The people who give themselves permission to grieve are often the ones who eventually find peace. The people who refuse to grieve can remain trapped for years. There's also a hopeful truth that isn't talked about enough. Grief changes shape over time. I have experienced it in my own life. In the beginning, it can feel like waves crashing over you. Later, the waves still come, but they become less overwhelming. Eventually, memories that once brought only tears begin to bring gratitude, smiles, and even laughter. The loss never disappears, but it becomes who we are rather than controlling who we are. As I mentioned before, I have experienced loss many times in my lifetime. Many dear people whom I'm loved and I cared for. I have lost both my parents, friends, and family members. About a few weeks ago, I lost my mother-in-law from a previous marriage. This was a difficult experience to accept. My heart was broken and could not believe she was gone. I have known her for decades. When I first met her, we connected instantly. What I'm about to share are moments from her life that I witnessed personally. She had a heart filled with love for her family and friends. She always smiled and put everyone before herself. She went out of her way to make sure everyone was doing well. This trait stood out as one of her pillars. When a member of her family was sick and at the hospital, she not only went and see them, but she also actually stayed there for the entire time. I never saw anyone do this. When her daughter was ill, this woman stayed with her until she passed away. She had to face the excruciating pain of the loss of her daughter. This was another big loss For the family, it was devastating. She suffered that pain and had hope in her heart that one day they would be together again. Now, after many years, yes, they are together again. God gave us this hope, and it makes our lives worth living. I want to share with you a portion of Scripture that really brings this hope to life. I pray it will comfort you and lift your spirit. If you have lost someone in your life, I pray that you will find the strength to go on, knowing that God has given you his eternal peace. The Apostle John said these words in Revelations chapter 21, verse 3 to 4. And I heard a loud voice from the throne of saying, Look, God's dwelling place is now among the people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe away every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death, or mourning, or crying, or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. My dear friends, I'm able to live my life even through the loss with these powerful words. They have made an amazing change in me because it gives me the hope that so many are looking for today. I just want to spend a few moments talking about the grieving period and what we should do to help those who have experienced a loss in their lives. Let me remind you, this loss is not limited to the loss of people, but any loss. Loss is not a sign that you are broken. It is a sign that you loved. Healing does not come from avoiding grief. It comes from walking through it. There is hope on the other side of loss. Not because we forget what we lost, but because we learn how to carry it with us. One of the great misconceptions in our society is that grief is weakness. Some believe that if they stay busy, avoid the pain, suppress the tears, or move on quickly, they are handling grief well. Yet grief has a way of waiting. What we refuse to mourn often resurfaces later as anger, bitterness, depression, anxiety, isolation, or emotional numbness. These can truly bring us down and set us back much more than we expect. As we help others in their time of loss, remember this. One of the hardest things for people to learn is that grief is not a problem to be solved. It is an experience to be shared. Presence is often more powerful than words. A hand on a shoulder, a quiet prayer, a tear shared, a simple "I'm here." Those things can minister to a broken heart far more than 100 well-intentioned explanations. When people are suffering, don't rush to explain their pain. Enter it with them. When people are hoping, hope with them. When people are grieving, grieve with them. When people are ready to hear, then speak. That is a very different kind of spirituality. It is not loud. It is not trying to impress anyone. It is compassionate, patient, and deeply human. Many people think hope is something we say. Often, hope is something we do. Listen carefully to the following quote. I am responsible. Although I may not be able to prevent the worst from happening, I am responsible for my attitude toward the inevitable misfortunes that darken life. Bad things do happen. How I respond to them defines my character and the quality of my life. I can choose to sit in perpetual sadness, immobilized by the gravity of my loss, or I can choose to rise from the pain and treasure the most precious gift I have, life itself. That was Walter Anderson. And now here's the balance. If I had a choice to bring one source of comfort and hope to those who are hurting, I would bring a presence filled with compassion, understanding, and unconditional care. I would want them to feel seen, valued, and loved. I would want hope to flow through their wounded hearts like a river of life, bringing healing where there is pain, peace where there is sorrow, and light where there is darkness. Thank you for spending these moments with me. My hope is that something shared today reminded you that even in the fire, you are not abandoned. Take time to reflect on these thoughts, and when you're ready, I invite you to join me for episode 6, Shame in Hardship. Until then, I'm Tony Zotti. Take care of your heart. May God bless you abundantly.